I think there are a number of big drivers, as you indicated, Izzy, towards just increasing energy demand in general. Like you just kind of look at a growing middle class. One of the things that's defining of the middle class is they buy household electrical appliances, right? Amongst other things, they buy consumer electronics. As they start to have a bit more disposable income, they replace those electronics with maybe new electronics that might actually be more powerful, do more, and use more energy as well. And I think that transition is something that many people are going through around the world, frankly. Let's leave aside AI and the vast energy requirements to cool cloud server capacity. Let's leave us or data centers. Let's leave aside Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining and the vast energy requirements that prompts or promotes. There's just a lot of big drivers towards energy demand. I think the interesting one here is this piece around climate change also driving demand. And I don't think there's a way around this, because if you look at one of the main impacts that you get from climate change, it is volatility in weather patterns, which means that it is harder to predict where the peaks and troughs will happen. So the highest heat points and the lowest cold points. And those points might also become more extreme. And so again, if you look at like Pakistan, for instance, which I'm personally familiar with, you have temperatures rising to 45, 46, 47 degrees, I think even 49 and 50 degrees at times or soon in different parts of the country. Those are unsurvivable temperature points. And so the only way that people manage to actually survive is if they're very, very poor, they try and simply find shade and kind of wait it out. And maybe they can have access to ice blocks that they buy on the street. And these like ice blocks with just pieces of cloth over them to try and kind of act as a little cooling agent. Or you can find coolers or chillers or things like that to just try and keep the temperature a little low. Or fans or air conditioning for those that can afford it. And for more and more people, I think air conditioning in those extremely hot parts of the world will become an unfortunate expense that they have to try and make just to survive, just to make life livable. Almost like the refrigerator for many families is just an expense that they have factored into the cost of living, really. Whereas obviously many people around the world still see it as a luxury item. So I think that's going to be a big driver. And I think the same will be true in some ways for heating in some parts of the world at some points in time. And that's unfortunate and is likely to continue, sadly.
So despite this record-breaking renewable energy growth, and as we said, consumption is on the rise, are we locked into this cycle, or are there any signs of stabilization?
I think that we are locked into this cycle. I think that the silver lining, if there is one, is that I think that the trend towards decarbonizing energy is going to increase. And if you just look at new installed capacity, most new capacity in many parts of the world is now renewable energy capacity, solar, wind, and so on. And I think that as that trend continues, in some ways it becomes less of a problem if there's more energy being demanded. I think that there's a math problem, which is at what points do those curves develop, basically, which is, can we actually grow the availability of renewable energy capacity? Can we decarbonize the energy grids fast enough for this not to be a problem that accelerates our trajectory towards 4 degrees or wherever it is that we're heading?